more Christopher Nolan. Okay, I understand you've structured some of your scripts based on the musical auditory illusion of the shepherd tone. And for the audience, I'd like to play it right now, just so they get a sense of what we're talking about. Okay, shepherd tone. It sounds like it's infinitely ascending.
Yeah.
And infinitely loading energy, but it actually never actually goes anywhere because the top note drops down and it just continues this illusion of ascension, and all you know for sure is that you're about to go insane. So, and you hear it, it's in several. It's, of course, the Bat Pod.
Absolutely, quite so.
What's the shepherd tone do for you?
The first time I encountered it was actually in a Beck song that I called my composer David Julian on the Prestige. I was trying to figure out the sound of anticipation, the sound of magic, you know, because that's a film about two magicians and a lot of it is about anticipation. And so all the sound of an orchestra tuning up, that's anticipation. But I said, David, I heard this song that just seems to keep going up and up and up. And I played it for him down the phone, and he went, "Oh no, that's a shepherd tone." Like, he knew exactly what it was, described the mechanics, how to make it work. And I said, "Great, write the music that way." And so we put it in the sound of the Bat Pod in The Dark Knight, for example, because we didn't ever want it to downshift.
Are you musical? Do you play an instrument?
I'm musical in the sense of I love music, and I love being involved in the process of creating music for film. And I love the process of working with a composer like Ludwig Göransson in the case of Oppenheimer.
How do you approach your composer like Ludwig Göransson? How do you approach him the first time? Do you say, like, you know, remember this is about the atomic bomb and this possibility to destroy the world? I need something upbeat. You know, like, what do you say? Like, how do you start?
I gave Ludwig the suggestion that I thought the solo violin could have a relationship with Oppenheimer's very neurotic energy, particularly at the beginning of the story, because to me, the solo violin can be warm and romantic and amazing, and then just with the slightest change, it can be horrifying and hard to listen to and edgy.
I had Emily Blunt on the other night, and she said that you and your wife are learning to play the cello.
Yeah, I have dabbled with learning to play the cello for many years, very
how many years?
unsuccessfully.
I'm just curious, how many years have you been learning to play the cello?
For me, pretty 7 or 8.
Okay,
like that.
All right, the reason I ask is it's pre-Tenet you were learning to play the cello.
Yes.
Okay, because in the opening scene in the orchestra, when the orchestra is being taken over by the terrorist, when I first saw that, having nothing to do with this interview, long before I was ever going to interview, I said, why does Christopher Nolan hate cellos so much? Because you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
There's a very distinct moment where the camera goes over to a cello and the terrorist puts his foot through this cello.
Yes.
Why do you hate cellos so much? Are you just frustrated?
I'm very frustrated. It's a very difficult instrument to try and learn. That's definitely my frustrations with the cello and my inability to learn it.
Is there what's your like pop music junk food?
I'm a huge Bowie fan, you know.
That's almost too nutritious than what I'm talking about.
Well, I don't want to lower the tone of the interview too much, but
I guess
I'm going to stick with Radiohead and David Bowie.
I guess what I'm asking you, Christopher Nolan, is can you complete this sentence? Who let the dogs out?
I cannot. No.
You cannot.
No.
Interesting.
Okay. Who did let the dogs out?
Who? Who? When we come back, I ask Christopher Nolan if even he understands Tenet. Stick around.